hope lives always. I want to show you another one of my Jonah sculptures that I made a while ago. So this is Jonah, but this is Jonah at the end of the story. Most people are familiar with Jonah and the fish. Some people say Jonah and the whale, even though the Bible does not say whale, it just says big fish. But they forget that there is a caterpillar or a worm, depending on the translation, that is involved in the story at the end. And it's a reminder that our hope needs to not be a selfish one. See, at the end of the story, Jonah has spoken to this city that God told him to go to initially, a city full of people that Jonah didn't like, who he thought were sinful and did bad things. And Jonah eventually gets there. He tries to not do what God said because he doesn't like these people. And eventually God has to have a fish eat him and then spit him out on the shore so that he'll do what he asked Jonah to do. And so Jonah tells this city, the people of the city they're from Nineveh. They're Ninevites. And he tells the Ninevites, you guys need to repent. God said you need to say you're sorry. Otherwise, your entire city will be destroyed. The people put on sackcloth, which is a very itchy material, kind of like a burlap sack. They put on sackcloth. They even put sackcloth of their animals. And this clothing is a sign of mourning and a sign that they are repenting. And they say they're sorry to God, and God forgives them. All the while, Jonah is sitting on a hillside, watching them, hoping that God won't forgive them, hoping that they will be destroyed. And while he's sitting there, God sends this plant to grow up over Jonah's head and shade him from the hot sun. And he's still watching to see what will happen to these people who say they're repenting, but Jonah knows they're terrible. He's sitting under this plant, and then one day, or one night, a caterpillar or a worm comes and eats the plant. And Jonah is so upset that the plant is destroyed. And he talks to God about it and says, why did you take this plant away from me? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do this? And God says, well, you're more concerned about yourself. You're more concerned about that plant than you are about those people. Jonah really wanted God to destroy them anyway. Jonah said, that's why I ran away to begin with. I knew you would forgive them, and I don't want you to. Because Jonah's own feelings of what benefited him and what he thought was right, even if that was selfish, were more important to him than anybody else. And that's what he was hoping for. And that's not what hope looks like. And I love the fact that the end of Jonah ends just like this, with him sitting on the hill, upset that worm ate his shade, and upset that God forgave these people he didn't like. Jonah never gets the point, never understands, never goes to God and says, you're right, I'm sorry. It does not end that way. Maybe your Sunday school curriculum version has that little addition put in to make it a better story for children, but it ends with Jonah missing the point, that his selfishness is all we are left with. And I don't want us to be that way in this moment. With everything going on in our world, with the pandemic, may our hope not be a selfish hope. Because that kind of hope does not live. And real hope lives always.